Oh my goodness, we're going live. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Hey. Welcome. I'm Doug Cosmo. Welcome to the Frog News Network. This is Mike Penny right here. And we felt compelled, how's that for compelled to have a show tonight because so much is going on. All of y'all wanting something to happen and everything's happening. You know what I mean? To us it is. And behind the scenes, and we're watching some interviews and stuff, some great intel drops on it, you know. It's just a lot of good stuff going on right now. Where are y'all from? And where your name and where you from? Where y'all from? Where y'all from? I seen the UFO from White, Georgia. I'm gonna have to ask you to be a little less white. Good evening, Lexington, Virginia. I know where that's at. That's right near the border of West Virginia, isn't it? Hello from Pennsylvania. All right. Pennsylvania in the house. West Virginia in the house. San Antonio, Texas. I've been there. California in the house. They still have internet in California? Great.
South Carolina,
Nancy from Indiana, Alicia from San Francisco. Hello, guys from North Carolina again.
Ray from Alabama, Roll Tide Roll.
Oh, howdy from Kentucky.
Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Lake Norman. Wow, you must be one of them NASCAR guys. They all live on Lake Norman.
That's our resident vaccine expert.
Oh, okay. Hallsboro, North Carolina. Ahia. Yeah, I even read today, but I won't even get in that part of the show. Come on, man. Where y'all at? Where y'all coming from? There ain't been 75 people commented yet. They say there's only 75 on right now. I know there's more than that because they don't tell the truth. It's sort of like the people in the Senate and the Congress.
St. Louis, Missouri. Got them ribs. Got St.
Southport, Florida. Blessing God. Yes, you are.
Stephanie Hopkins from Raleigh, North Carolina. Stephanie, welcome.
In the house. Missouri in the house. Guys, we got a lot of news to go over tonight. Plus, we have a special guest going to come on. And no, it's not the COVID expert. Although we love when she comes on. Hello from Canada.
Arlington,
Texas.
Hallsboro, North Carolina.
That right up the street from you, ain't it? Hey, fellas.
What's up?
Hey, y'all.
84 in the house now. Carla.
All right, guys. All right, man. It's some exciting times are about to happen, and some exciting times have already happened that you're soon to hear about.
Charlie Brown from Hickory, North Carolina. Havelock, North Carolina. Well, North Carolina representing tonight.
Yeah. I think Mike done recruited everybody down there. There's Billy Quick.
That's our COVID expert.
Billy Quick's yes, he is. He's our crash test dummy. I don't mean to call you a dummy, but you know, he's the guy that took the vaccine.
Good evening, Froggy Nights. Bartlesville,
Oklahoma.
Browning,
Illinois is in the house. Man, you got everybody in North Carolina. 80% of the people from North Carolina, man. You representing down there, bro.
Amen.
Man, you got them all. You recruited the whole
seconds. We're going to get this thing fired up, Doug.
Yes, yeah. I'll give about 30 more seconds and we'll get going. A lot of things happened today as we seen them in the chat. I think one of the coolest things is somebody sending me that video of the motorcade as Trump was leaving for the airport out of the hotel Sunday. I never knew a former president had 100 motorcycle military escort to the airport, but he sure did, because he's not the ex. He's the guy, the main man, the head guy, the head dude. Come on, wasting time. Come on, man. Can't we welcome people in? Is it all right with you? I guess not.
Christy, you're absolutely right. Cooper's going out. We're going to take him out. We're going to talk a little bit about local government tonight.
All right, guys, let's get started. So breaking news today, 2 states have completely opened up, well, or soon going to open completely up. One of them, Texas, that's the size of a whole country right there. Texas is opening up all businesses and no masks no more. To follow an hour later, Mississippi opened up. All Mississippi's opening up. And believe it or not, under extreme pressure, Michigan is going to open up like 60 or 75%. She don't want to do it. She's being forced to do it. I seen that, and I should have copied and pasted, but that's real news too, guys. But you're going to see
being forced to open up 75% is what he's saying.
So here's what's happening. And this, of course, I've always got my opinion. My opinion is, once you start seeing state by state open, and if you've seen 2 today, there'll be 5 tomorrow. And then to follow that, there'll be 8 to 10 the next day. It's going to keep happening. And the states that won't open will be mostly Democrat. You can best believe that California and the great state of Virginia will be 2 of the last, because they're 2 of the biggest idiots running anything. Look for New York, and I'm serious now. Look for New York. That's some more breaking news. For that to open up as well, because breaking today, Como.
We're going to revisit that. Talk about Como.
Okay. I won't talk about him.
Cuomo. Talk about Cuomo.
Talk about
Cuomo.
All right. Cuomo has been stripped of most of all his powers, all his emergency powers that he kept and broke the state over. Okay. Where nobody could open up any restaurants in the state. All that stuff, he don't have any more power over that at all. He's been asked to resign. He's going to be impeached. It's a matter of time before he is. And we're already looking at who the lieutenant governor is, because I'm pretty sure she'll be in charge by week's end. Because a man under investigation, you're going to have to step down there. He's got no choice at this point. So I think she'll do the right thing. She's a Democrat too, but she's not under his rules, so to speak. As long as she feels like she won't fall on, I don't think she'll fall on the sword for him, is what I'm trying to say. I think she'll try to set by example, but who knows what she'll do. But I think good times are about to happen for New York, a lot better than what was happening. And he's being exposed to more stuff every day.
Another sexual allegation today as well.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Somebody was showing he was forcing darn near a reporter to eat an Italian sausage because come sit right next to me. I want to see you eating it. And then another one today where he was holding this girl's head like he was about to try to kiss her. He's just a monster is what he is. Here he is, a guy that talks about sexual harassment and the new laws he's passed. He's the very person that should be prosecuted by the very laws that he had written. Do you follow what I'm saying? He is just a no good SOB. He really, really is. He's going to get what he got coming to him. They got the goods on him already. These people have all been arrested. He went for the magical helicopter ride too. Trust me, he did. It just went back to more and more.
His nipples are pierced, Doug.
What's that?
His nipples are pierced.
Well, if everybody's seen that video, it was about 6 months ago. He did a news conference with his nipple piercings in. And that was under direct order of Trump. He already been arrested at that point. Some of these people have been arrested long as over a year ago, and they're just playing a part in the movie. So Trump calls and says, it's the next news conference. We already know you wear them weird nipples because we got the video of you at the satanic things dressed up with them on in a leather suit. You wear them tomorrow or we'll pull a bullet in your back of your head. So he had to wear them at the conference. You could see him in his shirt. And everybody was saying something about that. he's been caught long time ago. He's just finishing out his part in the movie right now, like
trying to save his life and live his rest of his life in prison.
Yeah, in jail. Because that's basically it. And that kind of stuff is going on. And like I said, it's gonna be like dominoes now. And somebody, and I was just watching Scott McKay and
hold on.
I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to say he was telling more stuff about what's going on, and it's just crazy the stuff that's about to happen. I'll let you go ahead, Mike. You seem like you're ready to talk.
I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just want to circle back a little bit.
Circle back? You got one oar in the water?
I got one oar in the water.
Go ahead, brother.
Circle back just a little bit. So
get on your shoebox. Speak.
We're talking about Cuomo, right?
Uh-huh.
We talked about Whitmer. What about Whitmer is very strong that's happening. That's not the Michigan government. That's right. We're talking about Whitmer, okay? And we're talking about Newsom this week, okay? Two big ones today with Whitmer being sued and Cuomo having his emergency powers removed and pretty much on the way to stepping down, resigning at the end of the week. Okay, so that's 3 of the 5 states that Trump kind of talked about in his speech, okay? Wouldn't you say that would be right?
I would say that's absolutely true.
So if that's New York, California, and Michigan, then there's 2 other states that we got to see something happen in order for the dominoes to really start to fall.
What are the other 2 states?
Georgia. Anyway, what's the other one?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of another big democratically won place. Pennsylvania.
That's what he said in his speech, Pennsylvania.
Thank you very much. That's all for the show.
Trump wants those 5 states to be reopened before he comes back. That's conjecture. Okay, that is conjecture, but it's strong conjecture from what we're hearing in the back channels. Okay. If those 5 states are opened up and he comes back, he doesn't look like a dictator helping the rest of them to get the rest of the states to get opened up and start taking care of these corrupt governors and corrupt local governments. Okay. Not to mention the fact that we got Intel, Monday? Today's Wednesday. We got Intel. Today's Tuesday. We got Intel yesterday on Sunday night. Okay. It sprung on a Sunday night. Everybody's asking, what's the skinny on Cooper? We're going to get there. Just be cool. That the 21st of January and the 22nd of January, 200 local government officials, okay, does not say governors. I assumed they were talking about governors, but I was wrong when I heard it was 200 local government officials in these corrupt states, okay, not the 5 that I just mentioned, but the other corrupt states were given a helicopter ride. All right, and it was not a pleasant helicopter ride. It wasn't a tour of their city.
Either confess to your Chinese involvement or see if you can fly.
Yeah, basically, okay.
But yeah, so many more things are going on.
So,
go ahead, Mike.
So bring John on. Go ahead and bring John on right quick. But anyway, right. What I was saying was what Doug is springing on you is the tipping point of when the dominoes start to fall. And it's very important that a state like Texas open because they didn't have to, all right, be one of the states to open on their own, but they are. A lot of Republican states are going to open on their own, okay?
Florida's been open.
Yeah, Florida's been open pretty much. What else, Doug?
I just want to circle back. Let's not forget that the quantum banking system is in effect. Absolutely. We've had this confirmed by like 5 people now. Quantum system's running right along with the SWIFT system. It had one hiccup and they shut down the Federal Reserve. Since then, NASARA, from what we're hearing, either started yesterday or today, but won't be announced publicly till probably the 15th or the 20th of the month. But that is went into effect as well. So that's good to hear that, because both of them needed to be in place for the president to take his place back. So, and he might be come back and they say, you're president till we do another election. And from what we're hearing, the comms that were dropped, we can do an election and it should get the results the next day. You might be voting from your phone, or you might be showing up to a local military base with your ID to vote. There might be nobody running against them. Who knows at this point? But there's other stuff we heard on this hangout too that's kind of crazy. But I don't know if Mike wants me to go into that part about Texas.
Well, we will. We'll go into that part about Texas later on.
Okay.
Let's jump into these other guys. A lot of people do not know there's 24 other states, okay? There's 24 other states listed that had massive voter fraud. Oh, I said that out loud, didn't I?
Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, I can't say that. There's 24 other states that had FRAUD. Okay. And North Carolina, for all those North Carolinians were on there, North Carolina was on that list of 24. Okay. So something is being done, but Trump wants us, Mr. T, Dr. T, wants us to be the one to force those 24 other states open. Okay. And we're going to come out with some actionable steps that we all can take and help achieve that along the way of getting rid of like Cooper, okay, as the governor of North Carolina, and the other corrupt governors and local judges and stuff that are all caught up into this raggedy mess that we've all been looking at. And what about, let's talk about the absurdity of everything, kind of like the nipple piercing. And he had to go on a press conference with a see-through shirt, you know? I mean,
they wanted to expose him for who he was.
Yes, they're showing us these absurd things so that we can see and wake up to what really is these dumbass people that are supposed to be our leaders.
Well, they're getting woke up now. Scott says that he had an EMS today. Maybe they'll keep coming out. Yeah, but from what we're hearing is things are going to move fast. So I was telling Mike before we came on is, it might be where we're doing shows every day, and it might be where it's breaking news where if Mike's at work, I'll just come on live because I work from the house. So, you know, some things can't wait when it's real important. But we'll try to we'll keep you posted as much as we can. Things like amounts of money people are going to get through NESARA, we have no idea. What we know what they said originally. I even heard tonight about NESARA. That the person, and I ain't going to mention first name but last name, Surfing, was initially putting out videos on the bad NESARA, and there's two different NESARAs. Know that the devil's got one just like it too, but the good NESARA was passed and it's got a number to it, and that's the one that, from what we hear, we're going under, and it's still very good. It's all about helping people. The way they explained it tonight, and it made my heart feel good, is imagine if you didn't have to worry about money. Imagine if you didn't have to worry about, can I afford a new car? Imagine you didn't have to worry about, can I pay the light bill? How much could life be better then? Where there's no worries about your health. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about anything.
Humanitarian.
Listen, but your spiritual well-being. Can you imagine? It's all you need to worry about. What is my purpose on earth? Wow. That's all I got to worry about? That's amazing. Imagine the places you go when you go, I don't need a damn pair of Nikes. I can buy any ones I want. I can buy 100 pair if I want. But is that what you need? Or is that what your brain's been programmed to think you need? What do you really need? You see what I'm saying? I think we're getting ready to go there. And they talked a lot about, in this one hangout I was watching, about the technologies being withheld and the ties to Tesla and Trump's uncle and actually the Tesla guy that owns the company today. They're all tied together, and you're about to see things that you never thought were possible before, but you're about to find out things that's going to piss you the hell off, because wars have been started just to make money. People have died so bankers can make money, and the cabal could make money. And people in this country have started them wars, and good people have got killed in them wars so they could profit. And all them people will be taken down as well. What do we need? I think you just sit and be tight in Michigan for right now. I think things are going to change.
Actually, not sit and be tight. There's a list of action steps coming out either later tonight or tomorrow from the Dr. DJT team, the train. All right, that everybody can take in each of their local governments to help move it forward. Okay, it'll be lawful and legal. It'll all be lawful and legal instruction. Remember last night we talked about actionable faith, and this is where we're going to have to start taking some of those actionable faith steps. When will this be announced where it is not just our team talking about it, but experiencing it? It's on top of us now. Okay, pretty soon the mainstream media won't have no choice but to start saying some of the stuff as well.
And, maybe Katie coming over to Fox is part of the new networks.
From what I understand, and Doug, I think you understand the same thing. Yeah, Kaylee McInerney is probably going to light up Fox. Who knows? Guys, we don't know the exact plan, but it's on top of us, and it's about to start happening. That's why we're telling you about the 5 governors going down first. Is the tipping point. All right.
They're the main reasons that things are screwed up right now. And once they fall, it's all dominoes after that. And to announce them states today, look like I said, look for more states tomorrow that are going to just open up. But like I said, our governor follows everything that California does. Whatever they do, he wants to top it. So he's I guarantee you he went for, he's going to prison because he's deeply involved in all this stuff. So I hope we open back up quick here in Virginia.
A lot of people would think that drugs would be the largest cash crop in the world. Okay, drugs like fentanyl and cocaine and heroin and these big cash crop drugs, like what we fought a war for in Afghanistan. Not only did we fight for it wasn't about terrorism. It was about the poppy fields, and it was also about the minerals the mineral resources that they had in the ground there.
I know where to get
who was going to control them for the profit.
Where they get the batteries for the cell phones. Oh, your buddy's in the waiting room. I'm going to bring him on. You ready?
Yes, sir. Bring him on. John, welcome.
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
John, introduce yourself.
My name's John McCaw. I am in Portland, Oregon. And so I've known Mike for, a few months now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah.
Our paths cross jumping into this war.
Yeah, exactly.
Doug and I were friends long before that. John, meet Doug Kuzma.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Good to meet you, Doug.
Good to be in battle with you in this digital war, World War III.
That's right.
And we were trying to tell our listeners, we call them Frogonites, that a lot of stuff you're going to see is false flag. It's almost like you're going to hear stories and go, "Oh, that can't be true. That can't be true." It's false flag stuff you're hearing because they already told you we're fighting a digital war. So there's going to be propaganda. There's going to be fake, not only fake news. There's going to be fake stuff coming from people you trust. They want to keep everybody guessing because they don't want the enemy to have no idea about what's about to happen. And like we were discussing before you came on, the domino effect has started, and it all started. Remember when they said it's the snowball effect? Once it started rolling now, and there's no stopping it. This ball is just going to get bigger and bigger and mow stuff down as it goes, as they finish cleaning up all the tunnels in DC, and it's smoking red every night. As all that gets done, there's more and more stuff going to drop, and it's just a huge operation, an undertaking, and it can't be given times and dates. Like we said, it's just, we got to keep faith in God. We got to keep faith in the plan and hold the fork in line.
Absolutely. And, in the beginning, like I think it was the beginning of February, they were saying, hey, there's going to be some rough weeks ahead. So don't listen to mainstream media. Don't go down there and listen to these false flags, because that's all it's going to do is chip away at your faith. And we all know that faith does wonders. And so that's why we got to hold the line.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, in order to hear and see some of the stuff that's going on, you first have to quiet yourself. Like when you're listening to the Lord, you have to quiet yourself enough and still yourself enough to hear him and understand him. Okay? The same goes for what you're seeing across the landscape right now. In order to discern, have the gift of discernment, before you react to something that you see, you have to quiet yourself and still yourself and receive it so that your spirit within you, okay, can discern what you're hearing or seeing.
Exactly.
So let's just see. Today is what? The 2nd of the month? They said the 4th and the 5th brings big news this month. So we'll see what happens, whether it is that they announced that Trump's still the president, because as we all could see, his plane was actually down there in Florida at the Air Force Base on Sunday. And the smoker for Biden, I don't know where it went, but that's just a plane painted up like the president's plane. And he did get on one of the presidential planes, the 747, but it wasn't recognized as Air Force One. It was just NA, not admissible, sort of like him. Not admissible.
Speaking of Air Force One, I talked to just a few minutes ago about circling back, Doug. I talked just a few minutes ago about the helicopter rides that were given out after the fake inauguration. Excuse me. And 24 states were involved in that, 200 people, okay? I do, just like they know Biden's not on Air Force One because of the call sign on the tail fin, we're able to tell if there's military flight because of the call signs in our area, okay? You can find out these things to be true, okay? And there was activity in North Carolina with military helicopters the 21st, okay, on the 21st. So North Carolina could have very well been one of those states where they took somebody for a ride and said, let's hear what you have to say for all the North Carolinians that are on board, okay? And remember, there's 24 states listed outside of the original 5. So
says 30,000 National Guard in Florida tomorrow. If we already think Trump's already taken the oath of office, I think the only thing left to do is announce it to the public, and that'll be simultaneously as they arrest, Biden and the fake vice president as well, that probably already been arrested. They're just playing their part in the movies as well. But I don't think he'll take the oath in Florida. I think the only time he was in Florida was just for that meeting, and he is being stored at different military installations, so nobody knows where the hell he's at. You got to understand, they want him really bad, really bad. If he was at his place in Florida, they might be dropping tomahawks on that place.
I'm inclined, John, give us your input, but I'm inclined to believe what Scott and David Harleton and Kirsten was just saying, that we've already won the war. What we're seeing now is the exposure of what come of the war.
The mop up.
Yeah, the mop up, and they're gathering up all the doubles and the clones that are playing a part in the movie.
Yeah, what's your input on that?
Yeah, John.
I completely believe that. the fact that the very beginning of Trump's 2016 4 years, his main goal was to drain the swamp. He didn't know how deep the swamp really went. I mean, he got side hit from out of left field because he didn't know that was there. He eventually just started saying, all right, we've got to do some more work. And the thing that he's started, he's gone into 5D, and a lot of you probably know what 5D is. It's basically you're going into, like Mike was talking earlier, you're checking in, meditating on things, you're getting things from the Lord, and he's basically telling you, hey, this is the next step. We believe Trump is the guy that he's selected to.
He's David in the Bible.
Exactly.
And when he came on stage the other day, I don't know how many of your hangout shows you watch. I asked everybody yesterday in our Telegram group. I said, when he came out, how did you feel? I felt joy. I immediately started crying, but it was tears of joy. I felt the Lord's presence, and like I've never felt before. And I think the Lord can take form of anybody's body, that you could have been staring right at Jesus right then. You know, I'm not sure about that, but I felt it was very godly when he walked onto the stage.
Yeah, he definitely uses people. And, you know, the thing that I felt was relief, because
yes, that he hadn't given up on us.
Exactly. Like we know,
but I knew he wouldn't. You know what I mean? Because he spoke positive so much, and then he proceeded to give the State of the Union, which has to be done by the end of February for a president. That was the State of the Union speech, is exactly what it was, and he let so many bombs out, like when they talked about the vaccine and Joe didn't get the vaccine. Oh, Joe got his shot on the 21st. Now that could have been 2 years ago. He got shot in the head because he got executed by a firing squad, also because he put a presidential order in to bring back the firing squad for treason.
Mm-hmm.
Joe and his son have been gone for quite some time now.
Yeah, you just look. The media doesn't want these faces on their media because they don't want any more rabbit hole divers.
They're trying to decredit the Q with QAnon, which is not the same thing. The Q is direct intelligence from the president, and QAnon is people the way they interpret that information. So there was a lot of drops, just what time he started the speech, what time he actually started speaking, what time he arrived, exactly so many minutes late. Everything added up to all the drops in the queue. It really did. That's why they're trying to debunk it, because our listeners know that the news channels are run by the CIA and the FBI that actually send them a bulletin every day. And we know this by the declassification of documents that came out and showed these are the stories we want you to run today. Video clips have been sent to you, and these are like from 2005 that we have files from that we can actually produce, and we don't care what reporters you use, but you will be using these videos. And so that's why we know that the news media is absolutely controlled by the CIA and FBI, and all of Hollywood's controlled by the CIA. Everything in Hollywood has it right in the movie. I mean, it's crazy. Most every movie tells you how crooked the government is and the CIA is. It's in the movies. All you got to do, it's in Disney movies. I mean, what is Illuminati doing in cartoons? It's spelled out on stuff. It's crazy the amount. And I was telling Mike and our listeners last week, the amount of work that's got to be done to get the hate, the Satanism out of not only our country, but the world. Do you realize that every Freemasons thing has to be taken down because that's studying Satanism? That no longer can exist. If you let it exist, it builds back up. So the Knights of Columbus, that's the highest up in the church for that's got to go. How do you just tell the Catholic Church it can't exist no more? But they really went bankrupt over there at the Vatican because they caught them, trafficking children in adrenochrome. And they couldn't even argue. That's why we went and took the gold. But I'll let you guys talk. As you can tell, I love to talk.
Go ahead, John.
I had something on mind and it just escaped me. Yeah, the adrenochrome and the CIA. That's the amount of infiltration that the CIA has is mind-boggling, and what they're telling people, the media, to do. And Mike, you and I were talking offline a little bit about some other things that the CIA has been pretty much responsible for. Henry Kissinger, he's part of it as well, and that is Pearl Harbor. It was more of a genocide in Pearl Harbor.
Wow.
If you now, I kind of got tipped off by watching some of these chats. I'm like, well, what does Pearl Harbor have to do with that? And I mentioned it to Mike, and he did a little digging. And so he's the one that did the digging. But to kind of put the pieces together, Pearl Harbor was a genocide. Simple as that.
Yeah, they sterilized the women and they killed the men, and it was initiated by the CIA and Kissinger. Okay.
And he was our Secretary of State at one time, wasn't he? No,
Yeah, people
good
trusted
SOB.
him. Yeah,
I've got goosebumps, guys. I mean, I know the truth.
Well, every war, they've already said it, that's ever been started since. And well, you can't say that the CIA started Pearl Harbor because they didn't exist back when Pearl Harbor was around, but our government was involved in it. Okay, when did the CIA come to be? 53, something like that. But ever since then, they've been involved in everything. All
the
of
satanic cult was been involved.
Yeah, the satanic cult is involved in all our banking systems. It's on our banking notes. It's all the medical stuff that we got, all the insurance, everything is got the satanic stuff in it. There's so much bad that's infused in everything we do every day. I mean, it's called tell-a-vision for a reason. They're telling you a vision. You should have your own free visions in your head of what you want to do with your life and the places you want to go. Not because you've seen Hawaii's nice, you want to go there. What's the vision in your life? What is your purpose in life? That's what we need to be thinking about. And once Nassar is released, then you don't have to worry about anything no more, and know that we're free and we're no longer slaves to England, that things and possibilities are going to be unlimited of what you can do in your life. It's an amazing time to be alive, but there's the same amount of people that want to complain about what's going on, but we're going on a journey like never before.
Doug, and God's in control.
You got that right.
Doug, it's a good question that pertains. You're great at answering. What are the black eyes about?
Oh, why did Romney get a black eye? The black eye thing, and whether you want to hear it or not, I'll tell you what it's all about. Romney, probably his clone needed to be updated because I think he's whacked out a couple of years ago. And clones, what they do is, like, even when the ones that die, what'll happen is they'll bring in a reptilian, and these little aliens are about this big, and they have a little razor like needle in the top of their head, and once in their lifetime they could go into a human body through the eyeball, and it inserts into the back of the brain behind the eyeball, and this reptilian becomes the human being. They're never quite as smart as the real ones, but they look identical and speak identical. That's exactly what the Black Eye Club is. They've been, and yes, we have aliens. Don't freak out, because if they were here to kill us, we'd have been dead millions of years ago. They live among us. They actually take the form, some of them do, and human to talk to humans. You've probably met some and never knew it before. There's that one video of that little kid meeting the queen, and he could see them lizard eyes, and he ran behind his mommy and kneeled down. He was scared. He knew that thing wasn't human. But there's been, I've got video of Elvis Presley's clone starting to shift back into the lizard form. It happens with them sometimes if they don't keep the adrenochrome up inside their bodies. So they've been around for a long time. That's what the Black Eye Club is. It's clones. And then there's regular clones too that they produce, and they actually grow the clone inside of like a cow or a human animal, and then it grows the rest of the way up in a clone factory. It's crazy. It sounds futuristic, but it's absolutely true. There's many cloning factories around the world, and then the number one I think is in Canada, and it opened way back when, I want to say 25, 30 years ago, but they've been cloning people since the 40s, and the reptilian clones have been around for thousands of years. There's just different way, and there's robots that look like clones too. Biden, most of the time you see Biden, he's wearing a mask, and they think it's an actor portraying him underneath. I forget the name of the guy's name, but he's a comedy actor, but he's doing a wonderful job being a dumbass as Biden. But we all know he's wearing a mask. And that's clones are here, and all of them ain't good. What about
Fauci was seen with a mask on today?
What's that?
They depicted Fauci having a mask on today. Whoever, John, where did that come from?
Well, in our group that we have in Facebook, someone posted a link, and you literally could see a black spot right here on his neck, and you knew it was a deep fake. And for those that don't know what a deep fake is, it's basically computerized facial, and everything looks real. The only way to tell that it's not real is right at the neckline and at the ear level. You can see the ears are not. It's right on the edges. And so, they have things that will actually fake you out, but they also have things that will detect these things as well. So you don't have to worry about being lied to.
Absolutely. His clone is horrible too. It doesn't look anything like the clone that they use for the interviews. His nose is not the same. His ears are not the same, but people think they're seeing the real person. Fauci was arrested because they actually tried to file a patent on coronavirus. You can't do that unless it was made in a lab. So that's admitting to you're making a disease to kill people. Hello, what do you think he'd been arrested? He played a part for a little while, but where he was replaced as a clone. Like Gates, he's been arrested. He's been dead since like 2003, but they're playing a part in all of this. So it's crazy. But yeah, the clone thing and the fake thing, when you're watching Mission Impossible, that shit's real, man. They can really do what you see. And what do you think they're trying to show you? You think it's fake because it's the movies. It's real. I mean, I can go to one website and pull it up, and it can show you all the masks that they can put on people, and they look absolutely real. And actually, they were showing clone robots, and they were building them, and it was black and white. It had to been like 1955, 1960 they were building them. Mm-hmm. So how far has technology come in that?
They had cell phones back in the 40s.
But the cell phones were invented by Tesla in 1918.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, all of it will be revealed. Doug has kind of a lineup of how things are going to be revealed that he discerned today through conversations on the back channels. Doug?
Well, like I said, rolled out last week was the quantum banking system. The test was last Thursday when a lot of people couldn't use their credit cards, and the Federal Reserve had failed. They already had done that prior to that in Switzerland or Naples and ran it over there on a test, and it ran fine. But when they tried to do it through our banking system, it ran into a little glitch, which they fixed right away because all the currency was backed up, and everything. The quantum banking system was back up and running within 2 hours. All banks, they thought it was going to take 3 to 4 days to get them back up and running. But far as the banking system where it can send out money and receive it, that went into effect Sunday. So now the banks themselves have to switch over to Nasara, whether they've already been trained. I mean, not Nasara, but the new banking system, the quantum banking system, whether they've been trained. I'm sure they all been trained. They knew it was coming. So that all has to happen. We have 2 years to get all the funds, all the paper money out and the new money in. it's amazing because people are like, just think if you robbed the bank 3-4 years ago and you got a couple $100,000, that money ain't be worth a damn in a couple of years. And if you got money buried, you're going to have to exchange it. All the new money has chips in it, and they can track wherever it goes, whether that's good or bad, or you see it's good or bad. There's no more robbing the bank. They don't have to send police cars. They'll send somebody over here in a Dodge Ram, pick you up. We know you got the money, man.
They may just do it over chip.
Yeah. So
got a good question.
and I think we're going to the new currency. There won't be nickels, dimes, quarters. There'll be silver and gold coins. And I don't know about the currencies, whether the denominations will stay the same. That hasn't been released, but I do know they're only going to stamp so many million gold coins, so many silver coins, and that's it, because they all have this artificial chip in them. And the artificial chip can be tracked on every transaction. Pretty much, you won't even need a bank anymore. You'll have an account, but there's no, like if you wanted to get a loan, I don't know how all that's going to work, because there's so many good things coming. And the more I talk, people are like, I want to know how much I'm going to get every month. Well, they didn't tell me that, but you're supposed to get a nice little knot of money from them trading your birth certificate and your social security number. I'm 60. I probably got a couple 100,000 coming, but that's just what I've heard. Now, I can't tell you how much you're going to get every month or anything like that. But secondly, we heard between the 4th and 5th, that will be Trump announced as the president again. It's supposed to be done in D.C. Don't think he'll ever step back on the Capitol grounds or in the White House. I think it probably more likely at his hotel. And he probably will announce there that we will never, ever have anything to do with D.C. again, and explain why, because it was owned by the Lords of London and the Vatican. And it's satanic ground. And that will probably mowed to bulldozed or blown up like in the movies, and it'll probably be flooded to become a bird sanctuary. We have till the 24th to announce when the new election is and all that. Trump might become president.
I don't think it's the 24th that we're going to hear about the election. I think
everything has to be in place. The NASARA has to be in place. The banking system has to be in place. And they're going to have to come out, whether they want to or not. They don't have. They won't come out publicly and say we're under martial law. But I think they will come out and say we're under martial law now. If you noticed at the flag at the speech, it had the eagle on top. That means the president of the United States. No more gold fringe. No more incorporation.
All right. Susan's question.
So, I don't even
Why
know.
allow people that have been arrested continue living out their crimes as a clone? That doesn't make sense to me. Susan, it's called the Great Awakening, okay? And they're doing it for the purpose of people who are MK Ultra through propaganda, the mainstream media, and it has to be done this way in order for it not to look like we're creating a dictatorship or we're going to have a king or any of those things.
Can you imagine the reaction of people if they knew all this stuff had already happened? It would not be good. So that's why they're doing
the
it this
importance
way.
of the 24th. President Trump.
Let me take it.
As to, huh?
Let me take it.
Go.
Thank you. All right. So in 2019, Trump amended the Presidential Transition Act. Okay. It with Senate Bill 394. All right, you can look it up. It's there for everybody to see. He amended it so that he had control over the military for 60 days should something go wrong and he still not be the president. All right. He also amended it so that the military was in control of those 60 days through him. Okay. So whatever would happen would be controlled by the military at his direction. A lot of his direction was already made through other previous executive orders. All right. Throughout 2018 and on. The Presidential Transition Act of 2019, Senate Bill 394, simply gives Trump control over the military until the 24th. On or by the 24th, he will be reinstated as the president. Okay. Now, Sarah could be announced before then and it'd only be a temporary thing. Okay. And he would have to step down and there'll be another election. Of course, there's not going to be anybody from the Democratic side to run against him, so he would win the election. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's the significance of the 24th. All right. All these things have to be in place. It's kind of like they gave themselves their own ticking alarm to try to get things done, even though it's ebb and flow along the way. Okay, because dates change, events change, plans change, they adapt and overcome.
Amanda says it's hard to make friends and families believe about this. Well, that's why it's taken so long, because ask if you know anybody that voted for Biden, could they name one thing he's done for our country yet? Just one. For the good of the country, to keep America first.
That's right. The final.
I don't hear nothing but crickets, because he hasn't done anything. And if they haven't seen all the jobs he's already cost our country, how the border is supposedly wide open, all back into the Paris climate change thing, supposedly attacking Syria, which he didn't do. That's all propaganda. But explain it that way. Ask them, how could all this happen? Do you really think it happened? That's why it's taking so long, is because we don't have to convince everybody. You can't tell somebody something. You have to show them. And that's what we're doing. Every day you're seeing media on TV, they're showing them. Even the fake media is starting to have to show what's going on. There's going to be a point where they're going to pull the plug on them, and they're going to have to put the real stuff on. And that point's very soon. That's coming. And so what we try to do is just like, look how many people it's just going to stun, shock, and disbelief. You know what I mean? Where we're already, we don't know all of it. We just know parts of it. There's so much more to be exposed that nobody knows about. But I don't know how you convince people, but tell them to watch our show.
The 25th Amendment. The 25th Amendment is more than likely being invoked so the Trump card could be played. Okay. They're going to invoke the 25th Amendment on Biden, the fake president. All right. And remove him, and that'll put Harris and Pelosi in charge. All right. Everybody's talking about them, the three of them or the two of them having control of the nuclear codes for whatever reason. I mean, we could circle way back to 2016 because it was the plan of Hillary to finish crushing America by creating a nuclear war, a nuclear fallout.
From the uranium that they had sold.
Right.
Because they always could tell where the uranium comes from. And if there would have been an attack, it would have showed it came from the United States. And that would have
there's nothing to address with Cooper by the military or the government until we, the people, start taking action in North Carolina and get in the face of our local government and our governor. Okay. It's not one of the 5 states that they're worried about coming out before Trump comes back.
Is the First and Second Amendment safe? That's all part of this. That was discussed right in the speech, that these big companies, and he even mentioned them, that have to be dismantled because they can't control free speech. When he says that, you can best believe that Facebook and Twitter, Amazon, and all these other companies that want to control what you can say and what you can do, they're going to be a thing of the past. It's just wait, give it a little bit. Everything's going to start going. You just started seeing the dominoes fall.
What do you think, Don?
One day, you know what I mean? It can't happen all in one day. Yes, Epstein's alive. He is giving intel every day, wherever they're keeping him. And actually, Epstein's boss was Maxell.
Yep.
She was the boss. She was Prince Andrew's boss. She gave up the BlackBerry secret codes where they could read all of them's BlackBerry. They got the dirt on all of them. All of them. That's why you don't see the royal family no more. That's why the palace is closed over there.
John, what do you think about all that?
I'm actually was thinking about something else, but yeah, everything's. I like the fact that Texas, Florida, they're starting to open up. One thing I don't know that a whole lot of the rest of the country knows, since I'm on the West Coast, we got Pelosi, we've got Newsom, we've got Kate Brown. They're all family. I don't know if you knew that, but you know, Newsom is, I think, a nephew, and I don't remember how Kate Brown is in the whole family of Pelosi, but it seems to be a club, and that club is about to be taken out.
Yes. Pelosi's families, that they released the files just the other day. Her whole family is involved in the Italian mafia in Italy, not the United States, in Italy. So that all was released.
Her father brought the Italian mafia to Baltimore, where she was born and raised, and ended up on the West Coast to get into politics and carry on the legacy.
Put your trust in God to take all of this. Absolutely, 100%. All we're trying to do is give you updates on what's going on currently and what we think will happen. That's no more. You can't call the news station and ask them, but you can ask us. You know, I scour the internet all day. Mike does too. She's a clone. You can bet she's a clone. She might have a black eye next week.
Everybody that thinks they're governor, like in North Carolina, it was red. Every bit of it was red. But we have to understand that Richard Burr is just as crooked as they get. Okay, guys? Richard Burr is just as crooked as they get. So there could have been FRAUD elections, FRAUD there as well. Okay, just because we were all red except for our governor, which is proven in the past, whenever there's a Republican president, there's been a Democratic governor in North Carolina.
Let me address this. Trump is looking for Epstein. He's a reward, dead or alive. She said he escaped the Secret Service agents. I sort of doubt that. There's an ankle monitor. If there's not an ankle monitor, they probably chipped him for real where it's inside his body. He's not going anywhere. There's no way he's escaped anywhere. And I don't know where you heard that story, but they would not let him escape. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, that's misinformation, I believe, as well.
Got to remember, we're playing a digital war. This is World War III, digital war.
Info war.
They're all connected. That's the crazy thing. All these people are married, and we discussed this on another show, that people that are governors and people that sit in Congress and the Senate, their spouses work for the news networks and stuff. It's all crazy how it's all connected and it all intertwines with each other, and it's just a big mess of like twisted fishing line.
Yeah, I know in Oregon, Kate Brown was taking.
And it stinks like rotten fish. Sorry.
What, John?
I was saying Kate Brown was taken to recall 3 times, and each time there was a different reason why the signatures didn't pass. And then the last time they had enough, and somehow she's still in office.
That's tough.
I look for a couple of more states tomorrow. Definitely opening wide open.
Keith Urban is involved with the satanic rituals. Yes, so is his wife.
It's sad to say that a lot of the music industry, a lot of Hollywood, a lot of professional sports athletes are involved in it as well. There are some good people out there. There really are. But these people were forced into this.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Some of them chose to sell their soul for it.
That's sad.
Well, if you want to move up in our society, you got to come to the cookout. And you thought it was a regular cookout, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? That's sad to say. You show up there and they'll say, have a drink. No, I don't want a drink. You sure you don't want something to eat? Don't want nothing to eat. Next, you know, somebody's bumped into you and they had a needle with something in it. And next thing you know, you wake up and you're right there where they're murdering somebody. And you're witness and you're on camera. Now we're going to hold this over your head. We'll give you about $5 million. You'll star in as many movies as you like. You'll be at the top of the list when they pick the people to be in the movies.
Yeah.
And then we want you to, when we ask you to act out in the ways we ask you to act out, you will. There will be no. That's why you see them doing like this. That's why you see them wearing the eye. That's why you see them making all these signs.
That's why you see the cash cab guy doing his thing.
What's up with the cash cab guy?
He's been one of the actors, like in
it's a deep fake, guys. The video of Trump on Epstein Island is not a real thing. If it was, they would have drug his ass out of there a long time ago. Or he would have nuked us all.
Did they finish rescuing the children and adults from the White House and the Capitol? Yes, it's cleanup now. So that's why you see smoke every night. It's sad to say.
They're moving the fences in, opening some roads. They're moving them in. They're not getting rid of them.
But the reason everything's glowing and smoking at the Capitol is we all know how they take care of things at the funeral home. They incinerate them. That's what's going on in the tunnels right now. There's so much filth, so much nastiness that we don't even want to talk about. They're just setting them on fire, letting everything burn. Then they're pouring concrete walls and they're blowing them up and putting concrete walls up. That's what they're just concrete trucks there every day. They're sealing them tunnels. They're cleaning them. They're blowing them up, clean and disinfecting them by setting the fires. Cleans all the nastiness.
Epstein was supposed to confess to Congress and expose the Congress in January, and when the excitement started, he escaped from the people who were escorting him. That's what I heard. I can promise you, even if he did escape from there, he would have never got 3 blocks down the road, guys.
Mm-hmm.
There was 65,000 troops there.
You don't think they would just 2 guys escorting him? You don't think there's 3 military choppers in the sky?
We all know what he looks like.
Yeah. I'm just saying there were drones everywhere watching. Where was he going to run to? He's like 50 some years old. He's not gonna run and get away. No. That story is just bull.
The real story on Harry and Meghan is that Harry was never the bloodline. So he was tossed from the family, the monarchy, the family, and they had to move.
The military is in charge of giving all the orders of anything that's going on. When will we see the tribunals? When they decide we see them. You know what I mean? And Sidney Powell's not going to sit over every tribunal. There's no way in hell. There's 220,000 indictments. How the hell could she handle that many cases?
Guys,
there's going to be many judges.
The fencing around the Capitol and the White House is already being used as a prison camp. I mean, you can't look at it and see anything else. It's concertina wire all the way around it.
Let me address this. Turbojet, if you're not happy on our stream, be gone, dude. Don't nobody want you here if you're going to question everything we say. So I'll just block you and you be gone. Have a nice day. You always know when you're doing good when you get haters. You got to feed them. Right. I guess y'all are in charge now. Not in charge of nothing but my own destiny.
That's right, Christy. I caught that afterwards. Thank you. It was Simon and Charlie, guys, even the good guys, okay, and I'm not speaking on Charlie and Simon's behalf as far as good guys go. That's not my place. They do a fine enough job of that on their own. Okay, they absolutely have emphatically said they don't need us to do it for them. Okay. But they are putting out misinformation just like General Flynn did. Guys, it's part of keeping the public safe. if we knew every little thing, it wouldn't be very safe, would it?
Yeah, we just can't go to a country and make it a parking lot.
You definitely got to keep the left off balance, because otherwise you don't get to go straight.
All I know is, we were disappointed in February that things didn't happen like they should. And we come to find out it was because all of the tunnels under the Capitol and what they found, the children under there, the body parts and everything else that was so grotesque that they had to bring in additional 30,000 troops to help replace some of the special forces that were actually doing the work under there. So that's what set us back a month in this mission, supposedly. So now what we thought that was going to happen in February is happening now. And as you can see, it hasn't been dull to start off with. I mean, to me, that's big news that you open a state that's the size of a small country with no mass, and all business can open wide up. I'm about to pack my shit up and move to Texas tomorrow.
Hey, Christy, that's a good question. I mean, we've all heard about the emergency alert system, but the talk about it has died down immensely. So I really don't know the plan, and nobody has come out and said anything about the EA system. Definitely, it's just been tossed around in all the different groups.
That's right. Never let your enemies know your plan. Never. If they're interviewing the other general tonight, the retired Air Force general, he's going to tell you some things, but he's not going to tell you the plan. Flynn's not going to tell you the plan. Remember, Flynn said, well, we never signed anything yet. The president never signed an Insurrection Act. At that point, he might not have. But there was some other law keeping the military in D.C. There've been attempts on his life almost daily now. So it's crazy.
John, what do you think over the next 2 to 3 weeks?
I think by the end of the week, I think we're going to see some really good stuff. As far as the 24th deadline there, if you think about, if you put yourself in Trump's position or Q's position even, you are on a timeline where you need to have things done early, because there's a lot of things that have to get transitioned. And if you don't do that, then you're up a creek.
That's why I think things will be sooner than later. And with that being said, the way I read part of NASARA is, once NASARA is announced, that doesn't mean necessarily that Trump's going to be announced president. It might be announced because the law says within 60 days they have to have an election.
120 days.
120 days. I knew it was something like that. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. Don't play one on TV either. But did you go to the White House today? Not even the Brown House. I stayed in my house. No, I told you I went to the doctor yesterday about my hernia, and he decided to adjust it, and I think he broke one of my ribs. But other than that, I'm fine. I didn't figure I wanted to go up there with my chest hurting to get arrested, maybe taking pictures of the White House. That's currently empty with no Secret Service even at the gate. And during the speech, he even said they weren't allowed in the White House anymore. He said them exact words.
Only the Marines that were there with the kids and stuff coming out of the tunnels in D.C., and Trump himself and a couple of intelligence officers have seen the stuff coming out of them tunnels. It was horrific, okay? It was horrific.
I heard that the police chief, the Capitol police chief, got just a few pictures, and it rattled him so bad that he was in tears, and he immediately needed counseling and all kind of other stuff. And that was in the news. Not on the news, but on a lot of boards that he had put out a post that he couldn't believe what he had seen.
Well, I heard that they're using the med beds actually to remove these memories so they're not so traumatic.
Yes, and the children will be first, the ones in them. And you wonder how many there are. And I imagine there's many, but they're going to need millions. Who knows? In 20 years, there might not be hospitals. There might be locations with med beds, and you just head there when you're not feeling well.
I will tell you that I have seen some of the stuff that's on Anthony Weiner's laptop, And when they talk about seasoned investigators throwing up after seeing it, I did as well. And I'm not a seasoned investigator. In fact, I didn't sleep for 3 days. Okay, so I mean, this stuff is absolutely this. I can't even put it into words.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's got to be known to America and around the world what they've done and what's been going on. Nobody wants to hear about it, but it's going to have to be exposed. And there's no, every one of them should be executed. There's no trials. I mean, there's a trial. They're found guilty. It's, one in the back of the head, a firing squad, or lethal injection. You know what I mean? You don't do that. That period. You don't murder, and you don't rape and do that to and get adrenochrome out of innocent children. You don't do that. You don't do that. There's no excuse for it.
Absolutely. And Carolyn, you weren't out of the way at all, dear. These children have suffered, and we got to
be place in hell for these people. You got that right.
You got that right.
We're not going to judge them. We'll just keep sending them the bodies, and they can make the decisions. They're going to make it, from what we've heard, and we hope this is the truth, that everybody in D.C. that was arrested and local officials around the country have all confessed on analog equipment. On analog equipment, you can't do deep fakes on it. It has to be digital equipment, from my understanding. So all of them were recorded on videotaped in analog equipment, so it couldn't be messed with, and they will all be confessions to come out. We originally heard that when they pull the plug, the TV, and you can't watch it on TV. That's why I went out and got another 2 terabyte hard drive, so I got stuff to watch. That what would start playing is the confessions of all the people, of some of the people that's already been executed, and that number is very long. And people think they're all going to go down to Guantanamo Bay and go on trial and be executed. There's too many. There's no more room down there. They're taking them to the Netherlands. They're taking them to Iceland. They're taking them to bases underground, and they're going to trial. There's too many to just take to Guantanamo, and Guantanamo is about 7 layers deep. What's that?
Was it 20,000 or 200,000?
200,000 unsealed documents.
Can you imagine that at Gitmo?
What's that?
Can you imagine 200,000 at Gitmo?
They probably can't hold 5,000.
No.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why they're going to. We have bases everywhere underground around the world. That's where they're taking them for trials, executions there. It's not going to be done at your local courthouse. It's going to be done underground. It's just the way it's got to be.
Chrissy, answer your question. I would definitely just leave it with Jesus. I don't think you need to even pray for him.
They're part of the devil, and the devil needs to be gone. I have no mercy for none of them.
Is the Kentucky governor involved? The Kentucky governor,
he's a Democrat, ain't he? No, I'm just kidding.
He's involved, but not in the way you think.
You watch Pennsylvania open up and how quick Kentucky opens up right behind them. It'd be like they'd be on the phone with them. Let's do it simultaneously. No, that you're asking questions and then you're saying it's hard to hear. Do you really want to know what you really don't want to know what they do to the children? Trust me when I tell you. And it goes all the way down to the blood diamonds. You don't even want to know how they're made. But if that's something you want to hear about, we'll give you the Charlie Freak video, and he goes over the whole thing in there. The whole thing. Okay? If they came out with the videos, I wouldn't watch them. I'll take your word for that, bro. You know what I mean? I don't need nightmares for the rest of my life. I don't.
No, it can't be viewed, Michael.
That's just like I don't need to watch when they cut people's heads off overseas. I don't know what I'd get out of that. I'll trust your word on that. And then we come to find out that almost all of them were fake. and it
Yes, I've seen
and
that.
the Arizona governor was in charge of it.
I've seen Huma Abedin and the Hillary video as well. I've seen enough of it to know that I didn't want to see any more of it. But yeah, Frazzle Drip. A lot of it leaked out. A lot of it leaked out on those deep back channels on the dark web. And
It's still out there if you
all
know
that
where to
stuff is
find
being
it.
cleaned up now.
But I personally don't even know how to get on the dark web. I don't need to. I don't want to.
Well, it's kind of like Susan said, when God led her to the truth, the videos just started showing up. And,
Right.
and similar happenings to me. I mean, I stumbled on to the satanic rituals and stuff like that in 2015, which is how I knew something was going on in 2016 when Trump ran for the president.
And here's another thing that's something you want to know if you're looking at a clone or not. There's a couple of different ways. If you want to know there's somebody wearing a mask or not, you watch Trump Sunday. You can see him sweating, perspire on his forehead. You ever seen Biden sweat yet? No, because he's wearing a mask. Clones don't sweat either, and sometimes their eyes get stuck open and they don't blink for 1 or 2 minutes. That's humanly impossible because your eye ducts need to blink to keep them saturated. And I don't even know what it is a minute we normally blink at, but some of the clones go 2-3 minutes without blinking. And they're talking, but their eyes never blink. You know, they don't make crack that good. You still gonna blink. Somebody said they seen Pizzagate, didn't want to watch anymore. I imagine I wouldn't want to watch any of it.
That's too traumatic. That'll scar you.
How did you get these connections?
Hey, Mike, if you get Sean Hannity to tell you what his sources are, I'll tell you what mine are. I think that's pretty fair. Mr. Blinker. Christy, quit putting a timeline on it, okay?
It's when God moves, and just like Kim Clement said, God had set Trump aside for a season. It's not spring yet. It was fall. I mean, it was winter, and a whole season would be spring. When is spring? It's in April.
April 15th.
Ooh, but I ain't saying nothing, but you just be patient. Everything's going to work its way out because God's already has the plan, and he's using Donald Trump, and that's just the plan. And if we don't know any more than anybody else, we come on here and just try to give you what we got.
Let's say we reason a little bit better than most. Okay, not all, but most. Yeah. All right, and we add logic and common sense to it, and we also have a plethora, not a plethora, but we have a couple of good resources. Okay, guys, we don't just come on and make it up as we hear other people saying it. The thing to understand is that this has been playing out for a long, long time.
How do they keep all the secret without people leaking? Well, did you ever know that we had anti-gravity spaceships until it was just revealed a couple of months ago? They've been around for like 30 years. When you join certain programs in our country, you have to sign that you can never, ever reveal what you see or you'll be killed, period.
I believe the 24th through the 27th, we'll see Trump reinstated as the president. He's already the president now. He's inaugurated or sworn in. Yeah.
Somebody said my TV went out yesterday, and the first thing, oh no, massive flooding. Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up that was supposedly verified is that was a strike in Texas from China with the cold and the ice. It was a HARP used out of not out of China, out of another country, but they were testing China's stuff. So the other two intel people kind of backed up the information. So with that being said, that needed to be tightened up right away.
And that snow was not snow.
That's a good question, Christy. Yeah,
no, it's not.
No, it wasn't snow in New York.
That's that shit they're spraying in the skies.
Yeah. That's a good question, Christy. The military will actually
Was
be
that Ecuador, correct?
in the government for the couple of more years because it's going to take a while to get all of it cleaned up across the world.
Just
All
heard
right?
on Telegram that they're setting
There's
up a
an
false
alliance.
flag.
There's an alliance. There's an alliance there of countries that we have vowed to work with to clean it all up.
Man said he don't want us to be mad at him
I'm
because
not mad. I'm not mad.
We're
Mike.
not mad.
No, we're not mad.
Mike's got bigger connections than I do.
I'm not no insider.
That's all, though.
I apologize if I came across like I was mad, Mike. I do apologize for that, Michael.
I think somebody takes me the wrong way sometimes in the Telegram group. Everybody's has their opinion. I just give mine, and I try to rationalize it when people are going crazy about a video or somebody getting hired somewhere. I just give you my opinion about it. Your opinion is very important too. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just giving my opinion. My opinion was if Katie wanted to go work for Fox News, that's up to her. Get the most money you can. That's what you're supposed to do in life. Now, I'd rather see her work for Fox than CNN. She's worked for CNN before. And like we said, we don't know if that's a deep fake or not. Not that is she a fake, but is this part of them bringing in the new news anchors to tell the real news? Because she was the best press secretary ever. Dropped the mic on every idiot in there every day. I love when she says, "Look, all I can tell you the facts is I can't make you understand it." You know what I mean? She's a beast, man. Smart and good looking. You don't get them like that all the time.
She gives out homework.
Yeah, she comes out with a folder. The other girl comes out with one oar in the water and goes and let me circle back on that. Let me get back to you on that because she has no answers. Do you know what I mean? What time is this over? I got to get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? I don't know when's my contract up because I'm just an actor.
Guys, the guns. All right. So I don't know how to make it any clearer. I'm not talking bad about anybody, but what you see going on in the Senate, in the Congress, and at the fake White House is fake. Okay.
Fake-anosis.
We, the citizens, are more of them than they're more of us than there
We
are.
outnumber them like crazy.
Including the military.
There's more people with guns in this country than we got people in the military. Way more. Why do you think people are scared to invade this country? Besides, we have stuff that we can nail our ass from outer space with now.
But the military has families in this country too. They're not going to take action to take our guns. They swore an oath.
Do you think police officers are actually going to come take your guns? No. I don't see it happening. But some of the crazy shit I see up in Canada, people getting arrested for having 4 people in their house and not having masks on. It's in my house. That's crazy up there. What's going on up there? And that you know that would never go on here. I see some crazy videos out of Canada about the lockdown, and hopefully soon that crazy stuff will quit up there too. I mean, I went into the store today, guys. And I went into Sam's Club, and I got my mask down like this. I walked through the door, and the guy, he wants to say something, but he don't say nothing. So I'm in the store, and then I pull it down to here. Don't nobody say nothing. And it's almost like half the people in the store, and I'm watching, or then after that, I see people that don't have their nose covered up. Then I seen a couple more people doing what I was doing. So the more people don't feel like it's weird to do that, the more it's going to be accepted that the mask, and it might just be like what we just seen in Texas. Just take them the hell off because they don't do shit anyway. I bring it just in case they say I can't come in. I know I went and stopped by my eye doctor today. I said, I've been trying to come for 8 months. Oh, it's been this big COVID thing. I still have my secretary working from home remotely. I'm thinking, geez, this is going to be fun coming to get an eye exam here. Can you see that? And she's standing outside of the room or something. Is bigger or smaller? That right, left, this one or this one? One or two?
I've been in Walmart one time just to prove a point. I don't usually go into Walmart. My wife goes because I usually show my ass every time I go in there. And the reason why I show my ass is because they'll have 2 cash registers open out of 25.
Yeah.
And they got the elderly standing there holding their groceries, and won't nobody help these people. You know, there's sick people in line, and they can't help. Nobody's helping these people, and they're lined up down the aisles. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the most absurd run business I ever been in my life. Okay,
well, Walmart is a
I
horrible.
went in there one time without a mask on. Nobody said a word to me except for the person at the door said I needed a mask. I said, okay, thank you. And I kept right on walking. Okay. I've been in the Lowe's, Home Depot, go in those places right regularly. Okay. Those are my kind of places. Don't a lot of people say anything to you unless you got something in common to talk about, you know, like I'll be there buying paint and somebody's there buying paint and we'll talk about paint, you know, but nobody said anything to me. I've never worn a mask the whole time. Listen, January 27th of 2020, I took my last chemo treatment. All right. I had no immune system. I've not worn a mask the whole time.
Good for you.
It's the flu. It's just the
flu.
Trudell has connections. He don't have them no more because that's a clone. He's been gone a while. And actually, his daddy is Fidel Castro.
Yes,
the
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has already been arrested.
He's already been gone. You know, I don't know if he's dead. I know he didn't wear the ankle bracelet. They actually chipped him because he was uncomfortable wearing the bracelet. But it's a clone now, and the reason we all knew that. What's the guy's name? Adam what? That weird guy from California, Pencil Neck. What's his name?
Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff. The day that President Trump called him Pencil Neck was the day they put the clone in. The real one doesn't have a long neck. And geez, Mike sent me a picture of him dressed up in baby clothes the other day.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh gosh, there's certain things I can't unsee. You know, I didn't need to see that.
Adam Schiff's gig in it all is that the I can't remember the name of the hotel chain, but he was responsible for all the satanic rituals that happened at this hotel.
Right, absolutely. And what's his name was doing the documentary on kids disappearing, and he was actually in the next room over when he had killed a child, and they freaked out. And he had seen it. Anthony, whatever his name, remember, he was killed because of that.
That's right.
Because of the information he had, and he was trying to come forward with it. He was killed for that. He was like a celebrity chef.
Oh.
Yeah, he was in the room next door. And he was getting ready to come out with a documentary on human trafficking. And I think he was there to gather information. But he heard of all the craziness going on.
Standard hotel, that's right.
And he heard all the craziness going on in the room next door. So he opened his door to look out, and you know they had this kid. They drugged him up so much that he died, and Schiff was going crazy. So they called in, you know, the cleanup squad, and he's seen that, and they seen that he's seen that, and even though he was a celebrity, they had him whacked right on out.
You're talking about Anthony Bourdain, right?
Yeah. He was killed. He was in the room next door. He wasn't killed that day because he actually did an interview with somebody that he had information on something that he wished he'd never seen. And he didn't ever live to have that interview.
Schiff was responsible for getting the manager of the place killed, all kinds of stuff. The helicopter crash that happened there before it was finally closed down.
He was whacked.
Yep. All that stuff. She was whacked. All that stuff was all Schiff's responsibility in that part. He also, before that, all that went down, he had a boyfriend aside from his wife. His wife was just for appearances. All right. He had a boyfriend who was assumed underage. We're not sure because nobody ever told us, but a black male that he beat up severely. All that stuff was put out in the public.
Yeah, I don't know, like, just change the subject a little bit. How do you keep that guy on the intelligence committee when he was known to have been with a Russian agent. How does that still even? So that's how much of the movie. I mean, if it, come on, you just can't keep letting them be in the intelligence thing. So it's part of the movie because it's too stupid. If it's like almost something's too good to be true, it's too good. That's so stupid it can't be true. You know what I mean? So that the intel he's getting is this, on the same intel that Biden's getting. He's got little kids got them play keys. Them are the keys to the nuclear codes. Them play keys and crayons and a little book to play in. That's what he's got. What else we got? All right, you guys got any more questions? We're about an hour.
John, I've seen light bulbs going off when you heard Anthony Bourdain mentioned. What kind of light bulb moment did you have?
Who, me?
Yeah.
When you started talking about him, I was like, yeah, I remember that time when he was killed, and now we know the lies that they told why he was killed. They didn't say anything why, the real reason, of course, because that would have tipped everyone off. Then everyone would have been woke. So there's Anthony Bourdain, there's a couple others that were kind of fishy that have died, and now we know it's because of all the stuff that they've been doing.
They got to cover their tracks. And shortly after that hotel closed down. There were tunnels in that hotel and everything else. It was actually known for child trafficking in L.A.
Gives a whole new meaning to Bates Hotel.
That's
Yeah.
funny. You said, John, you're quiet. Hey, he's doing good, I think.
I think John keeps us between the ditches.
Yeah, if you fly into Canada from another country, you're taking off the plane to a testing area, then put in a motel for $2,000 if you test positive on the fake test. Nice. You should study the law up there. The law up there, the guy was on and he videotaped it. You don't have to take the test. It's against their constitutional law up there. So you can stand in line for 3 hours and take a test, whether it comes back positive or negative, but against this constitution. And he said he refused the test. And the guy just let him go in line and get on the plane and take on about the business. I don't know if that's coming into Canada, but he was leaving Canada and they wanted to swab him. And he said, I won't do it. And he had the exact number in their constitution. You can't do it. And I said no. And then he started screaming out all the people in line. There was like 20 people in line. Don't wait 3 hours in line. It's against the law for them to test you. And they're telling them, could you please be quiet? Please be quiet. No, it's the law. So if you're leaving Canada on any airlines, you do not have to be tested for COVID. It's against their law. But they're trying to enforce it.
I do not at this time plan to use the med bed to get rid of cancer because I've gotten rid of cancer. There's a 10% chance I could get it back. If that comes to book, absolutely, I could definitely address that then. But
if they can fix my back,
people there. I mean, I've had side effects from the chemo that has been worse than the cancer itself. I will tell you that. I've had 2 angioplasties in my heart, congestive heart failure twice now, all brought on by the chemo. So
I should tell you something about chemo.
Yes.
Many celebrity suicides were not actually suicides. They were silenced by the cabal. Yes, on the pedophilia. And they were replaced by drones. Anybody that's successful, they come right after you. If you had a number one hit song, they're going to come after you. And they'll turn you out. They'll turn the toughest dude in the world. They'll turn them out. If they stay in it, when they refuse to cooperate with the cabal, it's what happened to Whitney. They just turned the chip off. There was a chip inside her. They turned it off. She drowned in the tub. Same thing happened to her daughter. Just turn the chip off. You're done.
We know for sure Michael Jackson is alive.
Yes, and I hope he's playing at Trump's inauguration. He was the first one to get cloned in Canada.
Dave.
That got killed.
Dave is his name right now. Yes.
What's his name?
Dave.
Yes. Princess Diana, from what we understand, is alive as well. They planned on taking her out because she was going to out the family for the pedophilia and the satanic rituals. And she faked her death as well.
Who was that?
Princess Di.
Oh, yes.
Basically, if you are at all affiliated with Trump, you're going to be protected. Simple as that.
I'm with him.
I had lymphoma.
Oh, I hope
Large
not.
B-cell lymphoma. That's the kind of cancer I had. It's a blood cancer.
Robin, just start speaking against that because our words are really powerful.
Yes.
I've been speaking against diabetes for a while, but you just keep at it, because that doing your due diligence, eating right, and speaking your health is absolutely tantamount to good health. That's my PSA for people that have diseases that seem to have no good ending. You have to take advantage of your words. You have to be on the offensive. You have to do the things that you know how to do and ask God to help you out with that.
And don't I'm not warning you against the doctors. I'm just saying don't let the doctors show you anything without showing you the truth behind it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are y'all ready to wrap it? It's an hour and 35 minutes.
John, closing statement.
Close it. Well, I think we've gone through a lot of things, and we're gonna keep our eyes on the end of the week, because the 5th is going to be a massive day for information intel. The 24th is something that we're also looking forward to. So so stay tuned. We're going to be back, and just keep your eyes peeled for our broadcast. Subscribe to the channel so you get those notifications.
Look for a false flag attack. That's what I'm telling you right now. A big false flag. Don't know what it could be, but if something big happens, be known now that they're looking for big false flags between now and like the 6th or 7th from this day forward.
Absolutely. If you see those false flags, there's something on the other side of that flag that's going to be amazing. So be patient, be faithful, and
know that God's in control.
That's it.
Michael, you're closing, sir.
All right. What an event tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody coming out. First off, your time and your questions and your input and your feedback is very valuable to all of us, not just us here on the panel, but also in the audience as well. Everybody has meaning to what they say. And John was mentioning that just a minute. Words are powerful. Okay. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9:30 with a more conditioned show, as we dumped a lot on you tonight. Okay. Go back and watch it over again and catch what you didn't catch the first time, and be sure and give us a like. And I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank Doug for putting us, hosting the show and putting it on every evening and having conversations with me throughout the day, because I can't keep up with what's going on because I'm at work. And John, I thank you so much for jumping on as well. I think that the spiritual atonement to what John brings to us is kind of in the realm of what Ernest is a lot more studied, I believe, but John has definitely got the spirit moving in him, and he's able to share with us in a way that helps us all as well. And we'll continue to bring that around. Christy, thank you so much for bringing so many people from North Carolina on tonight. I didn't give you some good answers about Cooper, but it's coming, okay? Look in the Telegram group tomorrow. We'll have an action plan that everybody can go forth with in their state.
Real quick, Mike, tell them what a false flag attack is.
Go ahead, Doug. Let it rip.
False flag attack would be like Trump supporters shoot and kill a bunch of people. Just a false flag attack was what happened at the Capitol. So if they try to use Trump supporters or somebody along them lines, and it's horrific, something going on, that would be a false flag attack.
I'm going to open a can of worms. George Floyd was a false flag.
Yes, that's all fake. That's all crisis actors. But anyways, I just wanted to address that real quick. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you that come on here because we want you to feel like this is a place you can come to discuss what's going on in the world today without being ridiculed, where you can come and come together as one so we can find out and talk about what the real news is, because it's not on the TV. We don't always might have the best news in the world or the greatest intelligence, but we give you the best we got and let you determine what it is that's important to you. So with that, I'd like to say good night. I'd like to thank you.
Hold on, Doug. Hold
Hold
I
on.
think this is important. Okay, somebody just posted in the group. I'm not going to call no names about the NBC News report of QAnon causing problems or believing that Trump's going to be inaugurated on March the 4th. That's a piece of propaganda because there's no such thing as QAnon. All right, there's no such.
Q.
There's
It's
Q.
just called Q.
There's Q and there's anons. There's no QAnons. All right. So when you see that stuff, just ignore it or read into it what you want and pass it around and let everybody know there's no QAnons. There's no such thing.
All right, guys. Good night. Thanks again for coming on. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully some more states will open up and be one on that you're currently living in. So good night. We'll talk to y'all.